Wealth Nation, if you were a business, would you be thriving or just surviving? That's the question that we're asking each of you today.
Right. And today we're going to be discussing how to build a financial system that actually works. Keyword actually works. And you have to work it.
Yeah, because it's all about paying yourself first. I know we've said this in every video that we've created, but until this idea cements, it's not going to make any sense to you, right? Because if you are not paying yourself first, family, that means you are in the camp of those who are still looking for financial freedom, right? If you want to join the camp of those who have financial freedom, then you just have to do one thing. And that one thing is for you to prioritize yourself. Because if you don't prioritize yourself, you will always be building someone else's dreams.
So we think of businesses, they pay the owners first. That's called profit. So what we're doing is we're taking a page out of that same playbook, and we're saying because you are the main person in your
You're the
life,
star player,
you need to pay your star player, because if you don't, they're going to be upset and want to go and play for another team. You can't exactly do that. You'll just be upset. So what we're saying is pay yourself first, and just like the businesses do, think like an employer and not an employee.
Yeah, because when we think about our financial realm, sometimes as our personal finances are impacted, they're going to be impacted by our emotions, right? Because we're humans, because we're emotional, because we spend when we're happy, we spend when we're sad, we spend when we're angry. But those emotions can be irresponsible ways to pay yourself. So it's all about recognizing how the top corporations and the most successful people in the world utilize their money and how to emulate things in their system that makes sense for you. It just so happened conveniently I'm wearing Follow the Money today, because this whole concept is, again, looking at those who actually have the money and figuring out what they do. So going back to the point of, you may be feeling stuck. And if you're feeling stuck and don't know how to bridge that gap of paying yourself first, it's because maybe you're operating in an emotional financial system.
Right. And here's the thing. People that consistently get ahead, they do something consistently, which is they build systems. The key is to build a system. They know where every single dollar goes, and they protect what matters most to themselves, which is their income. Your income is what allows you to do the things that you want to do in your particular life. So the idea is to make sure that you protect the most important thing, which is your income.
Yeah. So when we go back to thinking about if we are the last person to benefit from our income, right? Because businesses are going to make sure that their profits are going to happen. That's why we keep going back to how do businesses work, because they make sure that they profit. If your household was a business, are you a profitable business? I'm going to ask that one more time. If your household was a business, are you a profitable business? Would you invest in you? Right. And we talk about this inside our money school, where we're literally going through a course of reevaluating our own households and are they profitable businesses? Because when we go back to this whole thing about prioritizing ourselves, if you look at the laundry list of bills that you have, I guarantee that every single one of those items on the list is debt. At the end of the day, it's just debt because you owe money to somebody else, whether it's daycare, whether it's the grocery bill, or putting gas in your car or charging your car, whatever it is, you owe money to somebody else. So that's why we keep going back to this whole premise of you're going to build somebody else's dream or yours, because every time that you get paid, your income is instantly being spent elsewhere. So when we have this whole concept of being our own banker and becoming our own source of financing, we have to make sure that it's important that we pay the house first, because if the house doesn't get paid first, then it's just not going to happen, and we aren't going to achieve that financial freedom that we want.
Right. And the thing is, this is just a bigger system. Like it's just the start of it. And without a system, your dreams is just a fantasy. So what you want to make sure, that you have is a system in place for whenever you get paid your check. And we're going to go through those in this. We're going to go through the 4-step plan, but we just want to set it up so that you can understand that when you take a look at your finances, whatever results you're getting is not necessarily a problem of you per se. It's a problem of the system that you're leveraging or using to create the success that you want to see.
So golden goose, you are the golden goose, family, and you're going to lay all them golden eggs. So what were you going to say?
I was going to say, it's like putting your mask on first. You know, when you get on the planes, like you need to put your mask on first before you can help anybody else.
Yeah.
Now, the systems that we have in place now are the ones that like YouTube has given us the YouTube subscription, the Amazon subscription. They have systems in place that we
to make sure we keep paying them.
To make sure that we pay them. And what happens is we pay them first, and then we kind of save what's left over. But what we have to do is we have to pay ourselves first, and then with what's left over, we pay our essential expenses next.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go off on a off ramp real quick, but you said Amazon, and I literally had this realization because my debit card just changed, the expiration date changed.
Oh yeah.
And I was getting like notification after notification about how my Amazon subscriptions aren't going through. Mm-hmm. And it just made me realize like how on the hook I've become with Amazon. Just our subscriptions to pay like the paper towels and everything else, and going back to pay yourself first. Like how attached are you to subscriptions and things where you're making these payments? Because they've made it super simple, right? Where we don't even have to think about it. It's automated. They've created the system. It's exactly what you're talking about. And sometimes we set these systems up unconsciously where we're like, oh yeah, this will help. But then how much money is actually leaving your household? So It's actually been a blessing because I've canceled a lot of those subscriptions, although it was convenient, but it's now making me be more conscious in the things that I'm ordering, as opposed to just setting it and forgetting it.
Right. So not setting and forgetting, but step number one is to pay yourself first. I think we beat that one like a dead horse.
Yes.
But step number two is cash flow is king. Cash flow is king, not cash is king. Cash flow is the difference between how much money is the difference between it's basically your profit. So what you want to make sure that you understand is that the difference between your expenses and your income, that difference that you have should be a positive number. And what's king is that number, that difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What cash flow is, let's make sure we all are on the same page. Cash flow is the money that is available to you that isn't tied to any expenses.
Right.
So right after you pay all of your bills and you have money left and you don't have to buy anything with this money, that's called cash flow. So how do we get you more and more and more of that cash flow? And it's all about being conscious and understanding what your spending is, maybe losing some of those subscriptions or the things that aren't tied to you. How do you keep more of your cash flow as opposed to continuing to spend it? So going back to cash flow is king, not the kind of outdated thought that we used to have back in the day where cash was king. Because right now, a lot of things you can't even buy cash. Right. You can't even pay with cash.
And you're,
excuse me.
And you're guaranteed cash flow as long as you pay yourself first, because you're guaranteeing that you're putting money aside for yourself so that you can have the cash flow.
So going through step number 3 is about protecting the assets. CYA. If you don't know what it is, just friendly Google CYA. Protect the asset, which is you, which is your income, right? Because nothing works without you. Let's go back to that, of realizing that. So what insurance, what CYA do you have in place for your efforts? Because if your income is going to pay for everything, do you have insurance that the income is going to continue to be paid out?
Right.
Because we do a webinar every single day, twice a day. Feel free to click on the link in the description, join me live. And every single time I ask the question, how long will your income be paid out? So I'm asking you, how long will your income be paid out if you are no longer here? Are you protecting the asset? If your answer is no, we got some homework.
Right. And aside from insurance is a pool of funds, right?
Yes.
So is an emergency fund.
Yes. Yes.
So the low-hanging fruit is to create an emergency fund 3 to 6 months. That's an insurance.
That's your self-insurance.
Yeah, that's a part of protection. And once you have that, or not once you have that, as you're building that, you can also have insurance to protect the other assets in your life, including yourself, including your income.
Yeah, there's levels to insurance.
Yeah.
Right. So we can talk about your emergency fund being like having $2,000 of cash available in a bank account that's not tied to anything. That's your first level of insurance for emergencies. Your next level of insurance that you can control is your 3 to 6 months of your income. So make sure that you have that in a separate account, right? Because layoffs, things happen. So can you make sure that your income your savings can support you as you transition? And then next is the big daddy, where we talk about life insurance. And that's ensuring that your income can live on without you for many, many years to come.
Right. And, as we talk about this, I'm thinking about how important it is to have this in place, because we're talking about being consistent in an inconsistent world.
Ooh. Wow.
So think about it. We're here in DC and we have layoffs, we have tariffs. And, when you watch news, you have people fearful of whether or not they're coming or going. You have houses going up for sale like crazy in the DC area for the people that work in the government. There's a lot of inconsistency in the environment around us and in the jobs that affect or ways that people go about their days and making money.
Totally.
AI, there's a ton of things that's happening. And we're here saying that you need to be consistent with how you save your money in an inconsistent world, but that's the only way we'll be able to do it. This is a formula that works the same way, whether you have $100,000 or $1 million. It's the same formula over and over again, which is these steps. And right now we're at step 1, pay yourself first. Step 2, cash flow is king. Step 3, protect the assets. And step number 4 is invest intentionally. Invest intentionally. Invest in the things that you understand first and foremost. Invest in the things that you want to do research about and something that'll keep your attention. Don't just go for the money. Go for what you enjoy doing and what will keep your attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you invest passively, you could. Why is that funny?
Well, I'm thinking of investing passively and how the money I lost and invested in things passively because I didn't understand what was a good deal or not a good deal.
That.
Okay.
Exactly what you said. When you invest passively, do you have the education to know your exit strategies?
Yeah.
Do you have the education to know how much you're getting? Do you have the education to know if you even should have made that investment in the first place? Because just because you have it doesn't mean that you should invest in it. Or so I digress. But the idea about investing is become an active investor. Know what it is that you're doing so that you can actually generate a return.
Right. Now, real money makers, they don't gamble on investments. They invest in the things that are based on goals and not emotions. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, again, I've made that mistake. I've made that mistake on our behalf.
Guilty.
I'm just taking responsibility.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you take that one.
I'll take it. That's fine. So the thing that I want you to get in step number 4 is invest intentionally. You've done all the right steps up until this point, and now what you have to do is we have access to information at our fingertips, and we don't even have to have a full idea when it comes to what we invest in because we have AI. What are the things that you're already knowledgeable about? Is it the stock market? A lot of people are knowledgeable about the stock market, but they need more information so they can invest in the stock market intentionally, be it dividend stocks or what may have you. Real estate is another one that has so many different moving parts that you can invest in. But when people say invest in real estate, okay, what part? Is it wholesaling? Is it fix and flips? Is it buy and hold? Is it subject to? Is it tax liens? Is it mechanic liens? What else?
The world is your oyster.
The world is your oyster as it relates to these different asset classes. But what we're saying is make sure you understand it to the point to where you want to look up information and learn more about it.
Well, and let's go back to like controlling the chaos. Okay. So once upon a time, there was a little Carmen and Darius and we worked for corporate America and we're doing very well financially. Some would say we were probably the most successful in our family financially at the time for our age, whatever, what have you. However, that success didn't quite feel like success because the money that we were making, let's call it that we were both bringing in over 150 household, right?
Well, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It might not be a lot of money.
Yeah, that's now. Not. But the point is in our 20s, when you have that much money, you don't have the knowledge, it can be very easy to just spend money on things that don't serve you. And so we found ourselves in that spiral of buying the nice cars, buying the nice things, buying all of the things to appear and look nice. And then we realized that we got into the spiral of just living paycheck to paycheck because we were trying to keep up with our lifestyle. So if you've ever felt that way, we're telling you that we know what that's like. We were literally our lifestyle was chasing us down every single month because we weren't controlling our income. Our income was controlling us. And so as that happened, we get into the world of consumer debt because we're not paying ourselves first. We didn't understand the value of saving. And it wasn't until we started educating ourselves and taking personal finance classes where we learned how to save money. We learned how to actually pay off our debt. And then we had to get to the next level of just changing our mindset. so that we can stay out of debt. Okay, because we've done that in debt, out of debt, in debt, out of debt multiple times. We've done that dance several times.
Right.
And it's really a mindset shift for us to realize what's serving us, what isn't serving us. And what we always come back to is when we are the most successful, it's because we're paying ourselves first. And then it's because we understand cash flow, number two, and then going back to protecting the number one asset, which is us and our income, and then using those assets when we get to that point to then leverage and invest.
Right.
So every time that we fall off the horse, it's always come back to we're not saving enough. We're not saving at all. So now we got to get back on that horse. Then it comes back to how much money do we got? Cash flow. Right? What can we do with this cash flow? We got to protect it. So I'm just sharing this with you because we've done this 800,000 times before, and it always comes back to the consistency in an inconsistent world.
Right. Now, that's a good segue into step number 5, which is the generational wealth and legacy planning.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we kept falling back into those different habits is because we didn't have a person in our family to show us exactly what to do at that point.
Yeah.
I know for me personally, being an engineer, I didn't have any other people in my family that were college educated and got good jobs with benefits and things of that nature. So there wasn't a conversation to be had about it.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what we're saying now in step number 5 is once you do all these things, you need to start having conversations with the people that matter most to you.
Oh yeah, keeping it in the family.
You have to keep it in the family, and it's not just when we talk about generational wealth or legacy creation. We're talking about money. We're talking about the information that you pass on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it can be a simple step, because the other thing too is we find many people get overwhelmed with just the world of investing and the pressure. I have to invest. Well, actually, no, you don't. Not right now. Let's get step 1 through 3 done first. And once you get step 1 through 3 done first, then we can explore other avenues, and you can bring people along with you. So bring your family along with you. It doesn't have to be so isolated. In the American culture, we have this whole isolation thing going on where it's like, no, it's your money. We don't talk about it. It's my money. We don't talk about it. It's your money. We don't talk about it. And if we talk about it, it becomes this thing about politics.
Right.
And it doesn't have to. Let's come together. Let's build up our communities. And our community could just be our immediate family, right? Mom, dad, brother, sisters, family, friends, because we all have to generate some sort of income to protect our families, to feed our families. And we just want to continue to arm you all with the education that you need to know that you can do it, and that there's baby steps to this, and you just have to follow the plan.
Right. And I think without a plan, what happens is money always goes back where it comes from. You know, there's 3 things that make up our financial system. Is the banks, it's the market, and what's the third one? Insurance. So those are the 3 things that make up our financial system. And when you don't have a plan, that money always ends up, regardless, right back where it started from.
With the people who know how to handle your money for you.
Right. So when we talk about legacy planning, like it's really easy to set up, because one of the most important things that you have to do is you have to make sure that when something happens to you, you don't go into probate. So you have a trust. And with that trust, you make the life insurance policies that you've gotten in step number 3. Make sure the beneficiary of those policies is your trust. Now what you're able to do is you're able to pull different levers and have conversations about, okay, this is your job. This is how I bought this real estate property. This is how the money is going to be going in and out. You have a game plan once you're able to do that. Well,
and even too, right, that the big picture of this is you have these systems in place so that your money doesn't go back to where it came from, right? Your parents don't do everything that they did to get this house and maybe pay their house off to leave it to you for it to go back into the financial system, and you don't get access to it, or you have to fight for it. So there's levels to this, family. You can do it. It's just a plan of action, 1 foot in front of the other, and just about your game plan. So what is your game plan today? You have homework. Your game plan, is it number 1, that you need to pay yourself first today? Mm-hmm. How much you're going to pay yourself? What percentage? How much of your money do you want to keep? Ask you that. And number 2, wait, hold on. Number 2, map out your cash flow. How much extra money can you have on hand? Number 3, protect that income. Protect it. Cover it like a baby, because if you're not going to do it, somebody else is going to come get it in the middle of the night.
They won't have to go back and come get it. Money continuously
It's
flows.
just out there. And then number 4, make a plan of attack as far as investments are concerned. What are the things that you're into? Don't go invest in something that your neighbor's best friend's sister likes. Invest in something that you're actually into. All right, what were you going to say there?
So what came to my mind as you were talking is that freedom isn't about luck. It's about leadership over your money, right? It's about leadership over the money that you made. And one thing that money does is constantly flowing. So if you don't give it a job, be it telling what the next generation is should be doing with it, then nothing will happen.
I like that leadership over your money, for real. Because how many times do we get frustrated about somebody who we don't feel is leading, like our boss or whomever? Right. But it's like, who are you being as a leader?
100%.
Because if it's in your realm that you see bad leadership around you, then that's just a wake up call for you to say, how am I showing up as a leader?
Right. And even for us, like, we're insurance agents, and what we do is we sell life insurance. And when we give you illustration or a contract, it's 30 pages. Like, you should read it. Mm-hmm. It has your name on it, and if you die, this is what your family is going to get, and you should know what that contract says. Mm-hmm. Even when it comes to you buying a house or buying an investment, there's no reason why you should be spending your money on something, and when you get the contract, you don't read the contract. Yeah. Because all the information that you need about that particular deal or opportunity is in that. Money's always made at the point of sale when a contract is being signed.
Absolutely. So your wake-up call, Wealth Nation, if nobody else told you, your wake-up call. Stop surviving. It's time for you to start thriving. We gave you the blueprint. So what are you going to do? Right? The key to insanity is stop it. Stop doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Today, pick your game plan. I gave you 4 steps. Where do you fall? Where do you start in that game plan? Let us know in the comments, where are you starting? What was the most beneficial perk or opportunity for you to start that we talked about today? Because it's all about taking this information and taking action, right? Don't just watch us on YouTube and not do anything about it. Watch to get that information.
Right. And if you want another opportunity to watch us, you can come to our free webinar that we do every single day. It's called Financial Freedom for Your Whole Life, and you'll see Carmen's beautiful face, and you can even ask her some questions.
Live, baby. We are live every day so that we can support you and that we can continue to lead everyone down the path of financial freedom, whatever makes sense for you. So Wealth Nation, if you like this video, make sure you like, comment, and share with your family, and check out our next video so that we can get this education on and popping. Remember to own your own lifestyle,
or someone else will.
Bye for now.